The internet is making people stupid. You might think that this can't possibly be true, that the internet was made to be a tool that gets us to more information faster, which would make us more intelligent. While that may be what the internet was invented for, we have developed upon it. It is no longer just a database of useful information. The idea of having everything you could want to know a few clicks away was huge for so long, but it turned into being able to see anything you want to in a few scrolls. New algorithms that are built to entertain you and appeal to your interests. Social media has become a more popular use for the internet. Now, instead of going to a search engine or doing research, people turn to social media. You can ask any question you want and get advice from people who have experienced what you have, which is great in concept. However, this becomes harmful when you are not taking proper measures to check what you are consuming and remembering to get multiple perspectives. This is where media literacy becomes important. Many people lack when it comes to double-checking information and thinking critically about the things they consume. This is a real problem that needs to be solved quickly before we become reliant on something that is not reliable. We are losing necessary skills by spending so much time on social media. One thing that has suffered greatly because of social media is media literacy. Being able to comprehend and properly sort through the content you're consuming is a lost art. People frequently believe anything they see on the internet without any sort of research done to back up the fact. This is true for all generations, not just children like some may think. Whether it be the older generations looking on things like Facebook or younger kids looking at TikTok, there is false information being spread everywhere. Media literacy is turning to a lack of critical thinking skills, especially in kids. In a 2024 piece written by Michaela Lewis for Arthur, it is said how teachers are pointing out a dropping literacy rate and how students are not able to think critically and dissect literature since the online era of 2020 due to COVID. Kids are not reading, or at least they're not comprehending what they are reading. They cannot find bigger themes in what they are reading and cannot find anything beyond surface-level analysis. This is alarming and more common than you would think. Literacy rates are dropping constantly, and so are reading standards nationwide. It is so important that kids learn how to properly navigate the internet and how to double-check information. It is also important that kids learn how to analyze deeper things in what they are consuming, otherwise the entire education system is going to suffer. Kids are struggling more and more socially because of the internet as well. People in general are struggling more to regulate their emotions and interact with people in real life. These are problems that need to be addressed. By spending so much time online, we forget how to properly interact with people in person and in public. This is shown in lack of concert etiquette, theater etiquette, and in day-to-day life. In a 2023 article by Lauren Antonocci for the Core Chronicle, she discusses how people at concerts have become rude. Examples she gives being throwing things on stage at performers, screaming over the artist, and being on your phone for the whole performance. This isn't how it used to be, and is once again a trend that started after COVID in 2020. Being on the internet through that entire time period caused a long-form general rules in society to be forgotten. It affected many relationships, caused dependency on social media, and was a start to a lot of those social issues our society currently faces. More people are now socially awkward. They don't know how to properly converse with people with authority, and there have been a multitude of problems in schools because of it, which also contributes to the declining education system. This is why we need more peer interactions in schools and in public. Social media trends are extremely popular and very short-lived. This means it is hard for anyone to keep up with these trends if you do not spend a lot of time on social media. People often say they have FOMO, which stands for fear of missing out. These feelings are widespread. Young people think they have to keep up with these trends in order to not miss out and not be left out with friends and peers. This is exacerbated by influencers online, some of which are children or teenagers themselves. Child exploitation online is a huge issue and negatively affects the childhood of those stars and sets a horrible example for kids that see this as normal behavior online. This issue has gotten so bad that there have been laws put in place by some states. In an article written for Route 50 by Chris Teal, it talks about how California was the first to instate these laws as it is most prominent there, but more states have followed their lead. The law forces parents to set aside a certain amount of money for children and requires parents to more closely follow child labor laws. The fact that a law like this even had to be made is alarming, and just goes to show that the internet isn't showing all sides of someone's life. You shouldn't have to follow trends or constantly be a part of social media in order to fit in. Social media is mentally stunting us. We need to spend more time on things that make us happy and help our mental health. Stepping away from social media and spending more time with people you love, being outside, and taking up hobbies can be huge for your emotional health. There are so many ways that being on your phone all the time can negatively impact you and your life. There's been a significant increase in mental health issues since the pandemic. While it may not fix the issue entirely, allowing a certain amount of time away from our phones could help a lot. In a recent article written by Allison Aubrey for NPR, she talks about a study in which people stayed off social media for a 2-week period. 91% of those people felt better after their break. Taking breaks from social media and our phones is important for mood, attention span, and mental well-being. More and more people turn to their phones for social interaction and would rather scroll on their phone than spend time with family and friends. By learning when to take breaks from social media, we could solve this issue. There are many things that can be done about this. We can make the active choice to take a step away from social media and focus on other things in our lives. We can help the problem and teach kids about the importance of media literacy and limiting your screen time. In an article written this year by Peter Sioshu for Forbes, it talks about how media literacy should be taught in schools to kids, and it is important for kids' everyday life as well as their education. It also discusses how we should teach kids how to use social media instead of letting them have unrestricted access to it so young. Just like in everything else, kids need guidance in this as well, and by guiding them, we will be more careful to set a good example for them. By putting more guidelines in place for ourselves and our kids, we can get a good head start to fixing the problem. If we teach kids about what to do and what not to do on social media, and more about media literacy, it can help kids to think more about what they are consuming. If we limit how much we use technology in the classroom if it is not needed, we can help with attention span and critical thinking skills that are currently struggling. By doing all of this, we will improve our mental wellness and help the future generations to be successful. We should be able to walk into a young classroom and see a healthy balance of technology and peer interaction. We should be able to go on social media and not have to worry about children growing up too fast. We should be able to focus better on long-form content and be able to not feel anxiety being away from our phones. There are many ways to make these ideas, and many more possible. Ideas could include things like integrating media literacy into education as technology becomes more and more prevalent. It could also be as simple as helping kids limit time online and choosing to limit our own time online as well. And an article from Raleigh International discusses the benefits of taking time away from social media and from our phone. It gives 3 main benefits, including better sleep, boosted productivity, and reduced stress and anxiety. These would all help our society greatly as they are currently big issues. Think about how much more time you could live in the present if you focused on putting your phone down. I encourage you to look at your screen time and ask yourself, is it more than the average person? Most people think that they don't spend as much time on their phone as they do, which is in and of itself harmful. Limiting the time you spend on your phone has to be an active choice that you make. Put the effort in. Take time in your day to go outside and experience nature or engage in a hobby you enjoy. Put screen time limits on your phone and encourage others to organize time away from their phones as well. Search for the deeper meaning in things. Double check the content you consume and interact more with the people in your everyday life. I challenge you to limit your time on social media this week and record how much better you feel at the end of that week. It is time to change bad habits and create new good ones. Thank you.